Wow, oh my goodness. I just found out that my old landlord, my best friend, who's 93, passed away January 7th. I wondered what. There's so many times that he had to change his phone number and just didn't call, so I was just waiting for him to call. And I was excited to look at the obituaries because he's so old you never know. And lo and behold, he passed away. Oh, we knew, I had after I got hit with Hurricane Ian, I was living in his guest house. I lived on his property for 15 years. And he gave me a huge break on the rent, guys. Um, he charged me $600 for a guest house in Naples, Florida, which you cannot get down there. He charged me less than half of what other people would charge me for a whole house. Okay? So if Ursel needed anything, his name's Ursel. If he needed anything, I would do whatever I could for him, including look after him. He has tons of family who looked after him too, but I did help because of his kindness. He was kind. He was an only child um, of a farmer from Canada, or no, not Canada, excuse me, Kansas. And his father gave him a Cessna when he was 16. He was born in 1932. And he was hilarious. But I was his friend. Okay? Some people say he was kind of like a father figure. Maybe a little bit, but really we were actually adult friends. And I'll never forget when I was in there living in a spare. I moved into a spare bedroom after the guest house got clobbered with the hurricane, and I was paying rent to live in the spare bedroom. And I would go into the kitchen, and I hadn't had a roommate for like since the 90s, but he was a good roommate. And I walked into the kitchen, and I'd be looking around for him, hoping he hadn't died. And I'd say, Ursel, are you all right? Everything okay? And he'd pipe up from his bedroom, I'm still here. Because he knew I was checking to see if he was still alive. He was hilarious. And one day, I would give him money. I would loan him money periodically. If I had it, I'd give it to him because he gave me such a great break on the rent. It was like it's the least I could do. Um, so he was out of money that day again, um, and and and, and we were both broke. And I said, I don't have any money, but I got this change jar, and I had a change jar filled with change. And he took it, and he ran out the door with it. And I gave it to him because I love him and he's my friend. He was kind of like a nice version of the Wolf of Wall Street. He would fall for breadcrumbing scams online. He was. I told him too. I said, "Look, you're really susceptible to these breadcrumbing scams." The bank would actually contacted him and said he's not allowed online anymore. I mean, the internet company wouldn't let him online because if he got online, he'd be all wheeling and dealing and doing stuff. He was always looking for business opportunities. He was a businessman, and it was hilarious. He'd be up at 3 in the morning and shit, doing talking to people and doing stuff. But he lost money that way by people feeling sorry for people that didn't deserve it. There was no accident that we became friends because I tended to be a lot like him and just being kind to people who didn't fucking deserve it. So we were we could support each other in keeping predatory people away from us. Um, he's got a huge family though, so it wasn't just me, but I did help. I really tried to help as much as I could with him, and he had suffered through prostate cancer. He was diabetic. He was an eating machine. If I was sitting, we were having dinner together, I would say I couldn't eat the rest of mine. Would you want to eat the rest of? He'd eat the rest of my dinner. It was hilarious. Um, but that was my best friend, and I've been crying like a baby over it today. So, oh. Anyway, um, um, let me get my composure. That was my best friend, and I'm sorry he passed away. I knew it was coming, but it still hurts. Mm. Uh, he helped me get my RV. He used to sell RVs, and he told me to go get my RV before the interest rates went up. He said, I think you better go get it now. You better go get it now. And I went and got it before the interest rates went up. And oh my gosh, that was a wonderful thing that he did for me there. Because after the interest rates went up, that's how I lost my Toyota Tacoma. It was because the interest rates went up so much I couldn't buy the Tacoma because I was leasing it. Um, so I was lucky to get the RV. Uh, uh, I knew it was coming, but it still hurts. And I was still waiting for him to call because he has to change his phone number all the time because the bill collector's calling him. Unfortunately, he lost nearly everything before he passed away, and they put him and his daughter, whose name I won't mention to protect her privacy. She's an accountant, and she really stepped up to take care of him and straighten out his finances before he passed away. But we did have to clean out that house of all the stuff that he had. Um, he wouldn't throw the popcorn bowl away from his marriage. His wife died in 2002. I was like, what do you need this thing for? It looked like a strainer. He says, you can't throw that away. I said, what is it? He says, that's the popcorn bowl from the wedding, from our wedding. He wanted to keep the popcorn bowl from his wedding. His marriage meant so much to him. And he I would catch him watching dating shows and people getting romantic and getting together and stuff. He just thought it was great when people fell in love and got together. He was such a romantic, and I'm not the Mars. I'm not the romantic type particularly, but he just thought that was the greatest. Oh, we went through a lot of shit together. We went through a lot together, and I hope he's resting in peace wherever he is. But that was my best friend, and I'm just trying to process it all. You guys don't have to be sorry. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's called life, and we helped each other through life. I helped him, and he helped me, and thank God he had his family to help him. Um, he did have to go into the assisted living facility, which was really nice facility, but nobody spoke English there, and he was a social guy going, I can't make friends here because nobody speaks English. It kind of sucked. Um, but at least he had his family. So, anyway, another great friend of mine has now passed away, and I just wanted to document it here on my vlog. And that's a huge more than a couple of chapters of my life. because Ursel was a great help to me, and we went through a lot of stuff together. Um, and I'm so glad that he doesn't have to suffer at all anymore. You guys have a great day. If you watch this video, it's kind of sad, but I just wanted to document it. Bye now.